We are now recording. So again, our topic for today is all about how to make lesson plan. So before we start our topic, I have prepared a game. So allow me to present my presentation. Okay. Yan. Kita na po ba? Okay, again, good
Yes po.
evening, English. Okay, thank you. English class 2A. So I have prepared the game. So I call this game, okay, I call this game the letter supply. So bakit letter supply? So the mechanics of this game is that I'm going to show you videos and then you're going to tell me what kind of action or what kind of action is being done in the video. And then as a clue, I will show you few letters and then you're going to supply letters that are missing. So are we clear with our mechanics? You're going to supply letters or the missing letters for our word to make the word complete. Like for example, action words like walking, running, what else? Talking, something like that. So for all the winners, they will be able to receive 10 peso load. So 10 peso load lang kasi medyo maliit yung ating budget for today. So your prizes will be given to you after the discussion. So I hope that everyone will participate. So let us start. So what is the girl doing in the video? Anyone? Yes, Angelica. Angela, Sophia.
Writing po.
Okay, again, at first, you're going to tell me what letters are you going to supply before you say the word. What letters are you going to supply? Yes.
R-I-N-G.
Okay, and then what word have you constructed?
Writing.
Okay, let's check. Drum roll, please. Writing, very good. So, Sophia, you will get your prize later. So, for the next video, who wants to identify? What is the girl doing in the video? So, anyone else? So, I will just write down the name of Sophia. So, how about Felicity? What letters are you going to supply? Felicity.
A-I-N.
Okay, and then what
The
word
word
have
is
you constructed?
analyzing.
Analyzing, let's check. Analyzing, very good, Felicity. You got the word correct. So, how about for the next video? I'm glad that you get the mechanics of the game. So, who wants to answer? How about Bianca? What words are you going to supply? Bianca?
Po, pakipatsi ko lang po. Ano po yun?
What letters are you going to supply?
Ano po?
Anong letters ang pwede mong isupply dito para maging buo yung word? Did you get our mechanics for today's game? If not, it's
Kakapagod ako
okay.
po ng meet.
Okay. Sige, tawag ka na lang kung sino yung pwedeng sumagot for this game. Tawag ka na lang ng kaklase mo. Sino kaya pwede? Ipasa mo ang trono sa kaklase mo. Anyone? Just give a name.
Naimi po.
Noemi. Okay, Noemi, can you answer this? What letters are you going to supply?
NIG po.
Okay, and what word have you constructed?
Planning.
Planning. Let's see. Drum roll. Okay, planning. That's very good. That's correct. So how about in the next video? What are they doing? So who's that? So can I get a boy? Kasi puro girls yung nag-participate eh. So wala talaga, no? How about Aldrin? Aldrin, are you there?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. So Aldrin, what letters are you going to supply to make the word correct?
Letter L-A-R-A-I-G.
Okay, and what word have you constructed?
Collaborating.
Okay, let's check. Collaborating, that's correct. Very good, Aldrin. So that's it. Congrats to all the winners. Just like what I have said a while ago, you will be able to get your prizes after the discussion. So, what is the relevance of that game to our topic for today? So, we have classified action words. So, meron tayo yung tawag dun sa mga action words na yun. It starts with the letter V. So, anyone who can tell me what action word is that? What do we call those action words? Yes, Felicity. Felicity, yes. What do we call that? It starts with the letter V. Come again?
Verb po.
Ayun, verb. Thank you, Felicity. That's very good. So we have identified verbs. So those verbs will be a big help for you to be able to construct a lesson plan. So let us now proceed. How to make a lesson plan? Let us know. So here are our today's agenda or tonight's agenda. At the end of our lesson, the English Class 2A will be able to define what is lesson plan, categorize the two main types of lesson plan, differentiate the different parts of a lesson plan, and follow accurately the process of making a lesson plan. So before we refine the details of what are the parts of the lesson plan, let us define what is lesson plan first. So who wants to read the definition? So let's make this discussion a very healthy discussion. So please participate, read if I ask you to read para maging healthy yung discussion natin. So anyone who can read the definition? Okay, thank you for those hands. Yes, Mark Anthony, can you read the definition?
Lesson plan is defined as a thorough description of the instructional techniques and learning activities that will be carried out during the teaching or learning process.
Okay, thank you for that, Anthony. So a lesson plan serves as the teacher's strategic plan for what the students must learn and what must they know. And it is also about the way how the lesson should be accomplished efficiently within the hour of the class. So in short, the lesson plan serves as the guide for teachers or for you as future educators. So to further know what is lesson plan, let us now know the importance of lesson plan. So now, who wants to read? Who wants to read the importance? Yes, Abigail, please read.
Lesson plan is important because a lesson plan is a guide that a teacher uses every day to establish what student will learn, how the lesson will be presented, and how learning will be assessed.
Okay, thank you for that. So just like what I have said a while ago, lesson plan serves as a guide for teachers to be able to facilitate successfully, efficiently, or effectively. So actually, we have different types of lesson plan. We have the 5E, we have the UDV, and many more. So but for tonight, we're going to talk about the two main types of lesson plan. So what are those? So anyone who wants to read? The first one, the detailed lesson plan? I will just call a name. How about, yes, Michelle, you're raising your hand. Thank you.
Thank you. Number one, detailed lesson plan. It provides mastery of what to teach and give the teachers the confidence when teaching. In this plan, both teachers and students' activities are presented.
Okay, thank you for that, Michelle. So from the word detailed, detallado. So meaning this shows that the step-by-step procedure ni teacher on how he or she will conduct the lesson. So it says here that there's a teachers and students activities. So what are those? Now, if you are familiar with the comics or the manga, just like this, di ba meron silang palitan ng salita or the speech balloon? Meron silang exchange of words. So, in the teachers and students activity, it is somehow like this, or they are alike. But with the absence of the speech balloon, or you may paganon. With the absence of that. So, eto yon. So, in the teachers activity, students activity, so meron din palitan ng salita. There are exchange of words. Like, for example, if the teacher will say, let us stand and pray, so the corresponding answer of the students will be, they're going to be praying in the name of the Father, of the Son, so on and so forth. And if the teacher says, good morning class or good afternoon class, the students will say or will have a corresponding answer as, good morning ma'am, good morning sir, such as like that. So ayan, ganyan lang po mangyayari yung teacher's activity and students' activities, just like the comics, na meron silang exchange of words. So that is the detailed lesson plan. So let us now proceed to the semi-detailed lesson plan. So anyone who wants to read the definition? Anyone? How about the 13 others? Let me see this name. I will pick on names. So please, can you read Carla? Carla, are you there? Can you read the
Nandito po.
definition? Okay, thank you. Can you read the definition of the semi-detailed lesson plan?
Semi-detailed lesson plan is less complex than detailed, but they still focus on what you want to cover for that subject on that day. They act as a general game plan for what will go on in the lesson.
Okay, thank you for that, Carla. So, ayan, uh, malinaw dito, it's less complex daw. Meaning, it's less complicated at hindi siya mahirap gawin. And if you will remember, just like what I've said a while ago, si detailed lesson plan, meron siyang teacher's activity and student's activity. So, dito sa semi-detailed lesson plan, wala na siyang ganon. So, ang tanging na lang nakalagay is the general game plan of the teacher or the 5 main parts of the lesson plan. So, later, in the following slides, we're going to talk about the 5 main different parts of the lesson plan. So, is everything clear so far? So we have defined the lesson plan, we have defined the importance, we have tackled also the different other the two main types of lesson plan. So now, do you have question regarding with that before we proceed? It's okay to ask question. If you don't have question, just say none so that we can proceed.
None po.
None po.
Okay, then let's proceed. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask me. So let us now move on, proceed to the parts of a lesson plan. So, mapa-detailed, mapa-semi-detailed. So, pare-pareho siya ng part. Meron siyang objectives, subject matter, procedure, evaluation, and the assignment. So now, let us proceed first and define what is objectives. Anyone who wants to read? How about Aldrin?
Number 1, objectives. Objectives are what the teacher wants the children to have learned or achieved by the end of the lesson.
Okay, thank you for that, Aldrin. So, objectives in Tagalog, layunin. So, dito nilalagay ni teacher yung mga bagay na gusto niya matutunan ni student at the end of the lesson. So, for me, this is based on experience, no? Dito ako medyo nahihirapan talagang i-construct. Kasi kahit phrase lang siya, medyo mahirap siya. Kasi dito nalalagay yung magiging takbo ng whole topic or whole discussion mo for the whole day. So, now, we have certain format for the objective. Sorry for the noise if you can hear the noises outside because there are many kids here in the house. But anyways, let us continue. So objectives, there is a certain format. And if you can still remember the verbs that we have identified a while ago dun sa game natin. So those verbs will be a big help for you to be able to construct an objective or construct a lesson plan. So later on in the Bloom's taxonomy, you will be able to understand it more. So in the objectives, we have the 3 domains. So what are those? So before we proceed to these 3 domains, let us define first what is a domain. So domain is the level of understanding of the level of the learnings, such as in the basic, in the stage level, and in the more complex. So let us first identify the cognitive domain. So alam ko most of you are familiar with this kasi natakal nyo na siya or na-report nyo na siya. Right, Aldrin? Yung mga nadatnan ko nag-report nito. So, anyone who wants to read? Yan, dahil ka-join lang ni Cristel, can we ask Cristel to please read the cognitive domain? If you're ready na, Cristel? Okay, if not, can I call on Veronica?
Cognitive domain are statement of student outcomes in a lesson or unit which pertain to the acquisition of knowledge and the ability to interpret that knowledge. Mind.
Okay. So dito sa cognitive domain, dito tinatalakay yung pagpoproseso or pagpoproseso ng kaalaman or yung paggamit ng kaalaman ng students. So here in the cognitive domain, we are targeting the mind, the knowledge, and the thinking skills of the students. So we are using different verbs in cognitive domain. So later, I will show you what are those verbs. So for now, let us move on to the affective domain. So just remember, in the cognitive domain, the mind, the thinking skills, and the knowledge are being targeted. So for the affective domain, who wants to read? How about, can I get Or can I have um, Michelle, can you read, please? The second domain.
Second is affective domain. Describe learning objectives and emphasize a feeling tone, an emotion, or a degree of acceptance or rejection. Heart
Okay.
or feeling.
Okay, sorry. Thank you for that, Michelle. So, in the affective domain, we are now targeting the heart, the feelings, the values, and understanding of the students. So, meaning we're going to use verbs din na kung saan mapapakita natin o we will be able to know kung na-appreciate ba ni students yung learning o kung naiintindihan ba nila yung importance ng lesson na diniscuss mo. So, for our third domain, so I will just read it. It emphasizes on the skills that are concerned with the movement of the muscles, such as the body or the action. So, in the psychomotor domain, so, hindi lang basta natuto si student na mag-define, mag-remember, pagkos at the end of the lesson, dapat yung mga natutunan niya yun could be able to apply into action. So, meaning, lahat ng mga natutunan niya, pwede niya magawa or ma-put into action or into movement. So now, yung sinasabi kong Bloom's taxonomy kanina, so which this one was shared by Monfe to us as our reference to make objectives. So here you will notice meron tayong knowledge and under knowledge, meron tayong define, identify, describe, and so on and so forth. So in the knowledge, dito, tina-target dito yung knowledge and the thinking skills. So just like what I've said a while ago, you have to remember the three domains kasi importante yon because those are your format in making objectives. So CAP or the CAP, cognitive, affective, and the psychomotor. Pag cognitive, it's all about in the mind, the thinking skills, or the knowledge. When it says affective, it's all about the feelings, understandings, and the values of the students. While in the psychomotor, it is all about the movements, the action, or the application of the students of the learning. So here in the knowledge, dahil nga knowledge siya, it's all about the thinking skill. So under siya ng, sa tingin nyo saan? Anong domain siya under? Ginagamit niyo yung mind. Sorry, Abigail? Cognitive. Okay, very good, Abigail. So, all about cognitive yung knowledge. How about the understand? So, here, dito yung pumapasok yung appreciation, yung values ni student, yung feeling. So, sa tingin nyo, saan siya nag-undergo na domain?
Affective po.
Okay, very good. To those students who have answered, very good. That's correct. So, how about the apply? Obviously, saan kaya domain ito?
Psychomotor.
Okay, very good to those students who have answered. So, ayan, tuloy-tuloy lang sa analyze, cognitive, affective, and then the psychomotor. So, magiging helpful to sa inyo kapag ka talaga nagko-construct na kayo ng objectives. So, now let us move on to the example of objectives. So, ito po yung format ng objectives. Roman numeral number 1, and then the word objectives, and then a colon. And at the bottom of that, at the end of the lesson, the students are able to. So ito, format na talaga siya na, na makikita nyo talaga sa mga lesson plan. So sometimes they are being specific. So paano nagiging specific? Like for example, nilalagay nila, at the end of the 50 minutes lesson or at the end of an hour lesson, so pwede mong ilagay yan kung gusto mo maging specific sa time ng lesson mo. So here, meron tayong tatlong objectives. So, the first one, ang nilagay niya is define. So, yun yung verb na ginamit. So, saan kaya siya nag-underlie? Saan kaya dito sa Bloom's taxonomy nag-underlie itong define? Anyone? Sa knowledge. Okay, very good. Very good to those students who have answered, Michelle and Abigail. So, andito siya sa knowledge. So, meaning, ang tina-target dito is the cognitive knowledge or the cognitive domain of the students. So, how about the differentiate? So, meron na tayong basic. Tapos na tayo dun sa basic. Nakuha na natin siya. How about in the stage level or in the middle level? Si differentiate, saan kaya siya, saan mo kaya siya makita?
Understand po.
Okay, very good. Which is under the affective domain. So, very good, class. So, how about the last one? The use. Na-apply na niya.
Apply po.
Yes, in the apply. At anong cognitive kaya yon?
Psychomotor.
Very good. So, it seems to me that you all understood what cognitive, affective, and psychomotor is or are. So, let us proceed to another example para madami kayong example. So, ito naman. Ito yung sinasabi ko na specific na. At the end of an hour session, ayan, pwede nyo pong ilagay yan if you want to be specific. So, if you will notice, meron ditong semicolon. So, usually ganyan. Hanggang sa mapunta kayo sa pinakahuling part ng objectives nyo wherein lalagyan nyo na siya ng dot or period. So, ginamit dito state. So, saan kaya makikita? Ano kayang domain tong state na to?
Knowledge po.
Knowledge. So, ano kayang domain yung knowledge? Is it cognitive, affective?
Cognitive po.
Cognitive, very good. So, eto siya. Katabi siya ng name. So, how about the evaluate? How about the other? Others, I mean. So, ang usually nakikita ko sumasagot si Abigail, si Michelle, si Princess. How about the others? Kasi dito natin makikita if you really understand our lesson kasi magiging critical to kasi you're going to make your own lesson plan. So, I urge everyone to answer para malaman natin kung na iintindihan nyo ba talaga yung paggawa ng objectives. How about the evaluate? Saan kaya siya pasok? Anong cognitive kaya siya? Sige, I will give you time. Affective. So, dito mo siya makikita sa under the evaluate. The word itself, evaluate. How about the apply? Very good to that girl who have answered. How about the last one, the apply? Before we proceed to the next part of the lesson plan. Okay, very good. So, any more question about the objectives?
None po.
Okay, thank you for that answer. So let us now proceed to the second part of the lesson plan. So who wants to read? Can we have Princess?
Yes po.
Okay, thank you.
Number
Can
2,
you read the
subject
definition?
matter. A knowledge of key terms related to the topic. It also refers to knowledge of the discipline's body of concepts, procedures, and processes.
Oh, okay, thank you for that. So to better know and understand what subject matter is, so ito yung example niya. So I have here two example of the subject matter. So ganito yung format ng subject matter. So kung kanina Roman numeral number 1, so now Roman numeral number 2. And then after that is the subject matter, colon, and under that are the topic, reference, author, pages, materials, values. Kung mapapansin nyo, magkaiba yung mga nilalaman nitong first example dito sa second example. So, it's really up to you kung ano yung mga hinihingi ng inyong cooperating teacher na pinagagawa sa inyo. So, here in the first example, we have the topic. Under the topic, we have the reference. So, ano yung reference? Kung gumamit ba kayo ng mga written documents such as books, journals, ano pa nga ba? Or any other type of written documents. So, dahil written documents siya, isusulat mo yung author, kung sino yung sumulat. Sa way of, parang sinashoutout mo kung sino man yung sumulat. Or the pages, kung hanggang saan lang. Para at least, kung search on man si student, alam na niya agad kung anong page yung hahanapin niya. So the materials, ano naman yung materials? Ito yung mga gagamitin nyo sa pagtuturo. Like for example, if you're going to use the marker, whiteboard, or laptop, or LED TV, such as like things like that, ilalagay nyo lahat yun sa materials. So in the values, so kayo na yung iisip niyan kung ano ba yung mga values na matututunan ni student at the end of your lesson. So here naman, kung meron topic, meron pang subtopic. So, kung ang topic nyo, meron pang nag-underline na another topic for that, pwede nyo siyang ilagay dito para maging specific lang kayo. So, teaching strategies. So, pwede din to, optional din to ilagay. So, usually, ang nilalagay talaga dyan is the lecture, discussion, the question, and answer. So, references could be two. It's either could be a link or written documents. So, dalawa lang yan. So, pag reference naman, kahit hindi nyo na ilagay kung sino yung author for that. So we're done with the two parts. Yes, somebody is
I have a
raising.
question po, ma'am.
Oh yes,
Sa
Abigail.
subject matter po ba, include na po doon yung learning resources? Isa na lang po sila.
What do you mean by the learning resources?
Di ba po yung
Sa
learning
materials?
resources about yung reference po, yes po yung material and teaching strategy.
Yes, actually yes. So, saan ka ba nakakita na mayroong example ng ganun? So, I have already uploaded an example of that, example of lesson plans in your Google Classroom. So, ito yung example nun actually. So, ito na yung susundan nyo. Yun na yung format na susundan nyo para hindi na kayo magkaiba-iba pa na magkakaklase sa paggawa ng inyong lesson plan.
Thank you.
Okay. So, for the third one is the procedure. So, I will call on name again to read the definition of the procedure. How about Juveline? We have a lot of girls tonight. Okay, I think Juveline is not yet ready to read. How about Giancarlo? Giancarlo Galicia. What a beautiful name. Giancarlo, can you
Yes
read?
po.
Okay, thank you. Read, please.
Procedure. Procedure are the routines and the actions in the classroom that you and your students do on a daily or weekly basis.
Okay, to better know what a procedure is, so I will share this tab. Okay, so I hope nakikita nyo. So, naka-zoom na siya. So, this is the procedure. So, yung kanina, the thing that we have talked about in the detailed lesson plan, dito na pumapasok yung teacher's activity and the student's activity dito sa part ng procedure. So, again, just like what I have said a while ago, ito yung palitan salita or exchange of words from teacher to student. So, pag may sinabi si teacher, there could be a possible or corresponding answer coming from the student. So, si procedure, kahit part lang siya ng lesson plan, siya din, may sarili siyang part. So, the letter A, up to letter F yan, actually. So, si letter A, daily routine, meron din siyang different parts. So, ito, dapat hindi sila magkarambol-rambol, ha? Kung ano yung format na nakita nyo, like for example, si prayer na una, dapat si prayer talaga mauna. And after that, just like yung ginawa natin a while ago, nag-pray muna tayo bago tayo nag-start. Then, I greeted you, good evening. So, lalagyan nyo lang dyan yan. And then, the classroom management. So, ito naman, applicable talaga siya kapag face-to-face. So, dito, chine-check ni teacher yung arrangement ng seats, the ventilation, the lighting, the cleanliness of the room, pati yung kung noisy ba yung mga students. So, dito lahat yan sa classroom management. So, ito, you can put a short sentence. Like, for example, before you take your seats, please pick up the trash under your desk. So, commonly, ito talaga yung sinasabi ni teacher bago siya magpaupo. So, dahil nga sinabi niya, you may now take your seats. So, sasagot naman si student ng thank you, ma'am. So, iyan yung mga possible answer ni students na naiisip nyo. So, iyan yung ilalagay nyo sa students activity. So after that, checking of attendance naman. You could either ask for the secretary, to the monitor, or anyone in the class. So, possible na maging sagot dyan, ma'am, we have one absent, or it could be none, ma'am. So, dahil gusto mo nga, perfect yung attendance, lagay mo, none. So, how about, for the next part of the daily routine is the passing of assignment. So, kung may pinagawa kang assignment on your last discussion, so lalagay mo yung passing of assignment. So, ayan, may magiging corresponding din na answer si student. So, after the daily routine, you're going to have the review of the past lesson. So, bakit nga ba ginagawa ang review of the past lesson? So, anyone na lang pala. Dahil di ba nag-reporting kayo, o nakailang topic na din kayo. So, di ba laging pinapa-review ni Ma'am Fe yung past lesson bago kayo magsimula ng another lesson. So, bakit kaya sa tingin nyo? As future educators, sa sarili nyo lang na pananaw, bakit kaya? So, hindi naman natin sasabihin na, oh, mali answer mo. Not like that. We will respect your answer kasi yun yung paniniwala nyo. So, I just want to hear kung bakit nga ba nire-review natin yung lesson before we proceed to another lesson. Okay, if no one will raise a hand, okay. Somebody
Ma'am.
raising your hand. Yes. Bakit kaya?
Sa tingin, ano po, para po sa akin, para po malaman kung may natutunan po ba yung estudyante nung meeting po na yon and kung nai-apply po ba niya yung natutunan niya po.
Okay, very good, Jovelyn. So, yun, that's the correct answer. So, titingnan mo kung may natutunan ba si student in your past lesson bago ka mag-proceed to another lesson. So, kailangan mo talaga malaman yon kasi ina-assess mo si student no, kung ready na ba siya for another lesson or kailangan mo pang palawakin yung kaalaman niya doon sa nakaraang lesson pa. So, dito yung mangyayari yung assessment. So, very good for that. So, sa motivation naman, just like what we did a while ago, yung nagpa-games kayo. So, just make sure kung magpapa-games kayo na inline or connected pa rin yung games na ipapagawa nyo kay student. So, hindi lang tayo basta-basta nagpapa-games. Dapat yung motivation magsaserve as parang, parang warm up nila for the new lesson na ituturo mo. So, eto, gagawa ka lang ng sentence. Like for example, okay class, I have a letter here. So, ilalagay nyo na dyan yung mechanics ng game o yung kung paano sila mananalo, kung paano yung mangyayari. Excuse me. So, pwede kayo magdagdag pa ng mga ano dito ha, teachers, students activity na naiisip nyo na sa tingin nyo na isasagot ni student. So, dito medyo maikli lang yung mga sagot, no? So, I urge you na dagdagan to para mas maging healthy yung discussion nyo or yung syempre, pag gumagawa kang lesson plan, di ba, ito yung iniisip nyo gagawin nyo for your discussion. So, dapat maging healthy yung discussion nyo. Marami din dapat sagot si student doon sa student's activity. So, after that, ayan na, nakapag-motivate ka na or nakapagbigay ka na ng game, you will now present your new topic. So, ayan, sisimulan nyo lang ng, now class, did you enjoy our activity? Our topic for today. And papakilala nyo na yung topic nyo for today. So, ayan, sasagot lang si student. So, yan, magko-call on lang kayo ng names, example, definition. So, dito dapat na i-apply nyo na yung objectives na ginawa nyo. Like, for example, ang objective kasi nito, students should be able to define. So, meaning if, sorry for that. Meaning, if you want your students to define what is noun, you should give them the definition first, di ba? So, dapat ganun muna. If you want them to say something, to do something, or to be able to learn something, you have to give them that first before mo hingin yun sa kanila. So, dyan yun yan lalagay sa presentation nyo. So, in the application, so hindi ito yung quiz ha. Hindi pa ito yung quiz. In the application, this is the activity pa. So, meaning, ina-assess nyo muna kung may natutunan ba si student doon sa lesson na tinuro nyo. So, in the application, dito pwede tayong magpagawa ng groupings or pwede sila mag-volunteer isa-isa or pwedeng role-playing. So, yan, kayo na mag-iisip kung ano yung sa tingin nyo na babagay dun sa lesson na binigay nyo. So, here, nagpapa-volunteer lang siya. It could be either placed in the board, tapos magbibigay ka lang ng mga example, ito yung mga words, and then you're going to call on students na pwedeng pumunta sa board, and then ilalagay nila, ika-categorize nila. Like for example, si cat, kung saan siya, kung sa animal ba siya or sa thing, something like that. So, ayan. After that, the application is the generalization. So, ito na yung last part ng ating procedure. So, sa generalization naman, dito na natin i-wrap up or sinasummarize yung lesson na tinuro natin. So, dito tayo magbibigay ng ating mga words of wisdom and dito rin tayo mag-a-ask ng questions. So, dito na natin i-check yung mga objectives na ginawa natin. Like, for example, you will ask them, in your own word, can you define noun? Or you can ask them, can any one of you give me an example of noun? Something like that. So, ayan, dito yan pumapasok lang sa generalization. Yung pagsasummarize nyo ng lesson and then yung pagtatanong nyo din ng question as a parang assessment na din or parang sine-check nyo yung learnings ni student doon sa discussion nyo. So, for the fourth part, which is the evaluation, so eto na yon, quiz na siya. Ito yung quiz na ibibigay nyo. So, under the evaluation, you will put the directions and then like for example, here, read the sentence and encircle the nouns. So you have to put the point, kung ilang points ba makukuha nila if they get the answer correct. So that's important para maging clear kayo sa students nyo. And then you have to put the key to correction. Kasi nga, lesson plan mo to. So, dapat alam mo din. Like, for example, if you're going to teach different sections. So, minsan, nakakalimutan mo na ano nga ba talaga answer for this specific kasi we're not perfect, you know. That's why we have to put the key to correction. para lang ma-perfect natin yung lesson natin or yung plan natin for that specific day of discussion. So assignment. This is the last part of your lesson plan and the most important, I can say. Kasi dito sa assignment, you're going to assess pa din the learnings that they have got from your discussion for today. Like for example here, if you will notice, sabi niya cut 10 pictures of nouns. So, kung maalala nyo, ang lesson ni teacher for this day is noun. Pero nagpa-assignment pa din siya all about noun. That means, ina-assess pa din niya kung may natutunan ba si student sa discussion for today. And then, sa number 2 and 3, doon na siya nagpasok ng another topic na magiging lesson niya for the upcoming discussion. So, dapat ganun yung assignment nyo. Merong follow-up and meron for the next discussion. So, dapat ilalagay nyo din yung reference. Kung may written documents or kung link, ilalagay nyo yung link. So, ayan. So, that's it. So, I have here an example of the semi-detailed lesson plan naman. So, the thing that I have showed you was detailed lesson plan. So, dito naman sa semi-detailed lesson plan, mas madali siyang gawin. So, dapat ito naman, ginagawa nyo siya or pinapractice nyo siya pag na-practice nyo nang gawin yung detailed lesson plan nyo. Kasi napakadali na nitong gawin. So, wala na siyang teacher and student activity. So, ayan lang. Ilalagay nyo lang yung general plan nyo. Subject matter, procedure. So, hindi nyo na ilalagay dyan kung ano gagawin nyo sa prayer. Kung magpapadasal ba kayo or kayo yung maglilid ng prayer. So, kung paano nyo ba i-greet si student. So, general lang. Lalagay nyo prayer, greet the student, classroom management, checking of attendance, checking of assignment. Again, this is optional. You can remove this if you don't have assignment. So, review of the past lesson. So, short sentences lang. So, mapakita nyo lang na nag-review kayo of the past lesson. So, sa motivation, dapat ilagay nyo pa rin dito yung mechanics of the game. And if you have the title for your game, please put it on kasi importante din na may title yung game ninyo. Just like, for example, yung ginawa natin kanina, ang title ng ating game was Letter Supply. So here for the presentation, ayan. So, naglagay lang siya ng guide question. So, it's up to you kung paano nyo lalagay yung presentation. It could be like, ilagay nyo lang kung, like for example, yung noun, definition ng noun, kung may types or kinds pa ba yung noun. So, yun lang, ilalagay nyo lang yung mga ituturo nyo. So, hindi nyo na ilalagay kung ano pa ba yung sasagot ni students doon. So, for the generalization, just like what I've said a while ago, ito yung summarization ng the whole topic na tinuro nyo. For the application, lalagyan nyo lang yung mechanics ng activity na ipapagawa nyo. And for the evaluation, lalagyan nyo yung pa-quiz nyo and key correction sa ibaba. And then, assignment for the last part. So, again, for the reference, lalagay nyo din. So, those are the parts of the lesson plan. So now, let me ask you, do you have question regarding our topic for today? Ayan, mag-raise na po kayo ng question kasi as per Ma'am Fe, gagawa daw kayo ng detailed lesson plan and semi-detailed lesson plan. So, kung na-visit nyo na yung mga sinend ko na format sa Google Classroom na pinasend ni Ma'am Fe, pwede na kayo magtanong regarding that kung hindi kayo naiintindihan. So, Ma'am Fe and I are here to answer your questions.
Okay, questions. Naintindihan ba yung presentation ni Ma'am Rose Ann?